Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Survivor. Today, we have a three-way race? What? I honestly didn't know this was a thing, but thankfully, I saw that one of the Survivor seasons had, like, healers versus whatever. And that really lets me do Danganronpa a lot easier because the original plan was going to be Hope versus Despair, and I was just going to fit the V3 characters in there somewhere. But now they can have their own entire section. Isn't that lovely? So yes, we have our competitors for each team for each game, kind of. You'll see it's not exactly along the lines of which game they originated in. Hope is all the first game's survivors. I feel like that makes the most sense. Despair is a little weirder, and by that I mean a lot weirder because it's Hajime and Frihiko who are survivors. And then we've got Nagito and Chiaki who are at least from the same game and are important. And then we have Junko and Mukuro who are not from this game at all, but they do fit the title of Despair. So the way this worked is I originally had the Danganronpa 2 survivors all in here. And then I was like, well, I guess the last spot I fill would be Junko. But I kind of want to include Mukuro because I just think it would be interesting. Because this simulator, unlike the Hunger Games simulator I used to use, actually lets you set relationships between the characters. So I could actually, include the Mukuro Makoto friendship that forms in What If as a fun way to sort of, everybody hates Mukuro except for Makoto. I just thought that would be fun. And it might pay off down the line into something interesting during the game. So I was like, okay, well, then I have to get rid of one of the survivors from Danganronpa 2, so I might as well put Chiaki and Nagito in here too, and that's how we ended up with this list. Honestly, it's kind of funny, Fujiko's the only one left from the original Survivor group other than Hajime is obviously important. And I was like, well, I could replace him with someone else, but I couldn't really think of anybody better, so here we are. And then finally, Truth Team. The V3 section. All V3 characters. There are only 3 survivors in V3. And I left out Himiko because she's boring. I mean, her entire character arc relies on a character that definitely was not going to be in this, which is Tenko. And Angie, to be fair, also not going to be in this. So I put in Kaede and Kokichi first, as well as Sumugi, which is interesting because Junko and Mukuro don't know her, but she's has an unbreakable bond with the both of them, which I think is funny. Also, I gave Nagito extreme hatred towards her based on vibes. I feel like Nagito could be able to vibe out that she's essentially a Despair fangirl. And then, Rantaro just kind of found his way in here. I just think it'll be interesting. I mean, he is the ultimate survivor. That is his title. So he should win the game of Survivor, right? Anyway, without any further ado, let's get into the game. The one of the most fun parts about this is I don't know, what actually happens in this season of Survivor. So I'll kind of be surprised about what's about to happen as much as you guys will. All right. Race to the shore. Let me just make sure it's capturing well. Oh, yeah, that looks great. Okay. When the host rings a bell, the 3 tribes have to make their way to the boats along with items they collected and paddle to shore. Once all 6 are ashore, they must raise one member to reach a fire pit with a torch. The first 2 tribes to light their torches win. Okay, Hope won and Despair won. Interesting. So, truth. The dysfunctional V3 team did not make it to win. Mukuro finds a secret advantage. Oh boy. The what if scenario is already happening. This is a super idol. Super idol. Okay. The ultimate immunity idol that can be played after the votes are read. It can only be played at the first tribal council. If another tribe loses the first challenge, it must be passed to someone on that tribe. Ooh, interesting. I can't believe Mukuro got that's already so great. I'm already so glad with this decision. All right, check in with the Hope team, see how things are going. This will give you a foundation to understand how I set the relationships between all of these characters. And there's less of them on each one, so it should get a little less confusing, so that's nice. Nobody's found the hidden immunity idol yet. On the first day? I can't believe it. Nagito has an unbreakable bond with Toko. Nagito has an unbreakable bond with Aoi. Turns out Makoto has an unbreakable bond with everybody. Toko has an unbreakable bond with Byakuya. Makoto has an unbreakable bond with, Byakuya and Kyoko. Byakuya has strong dislike towards Toko. Yep. Toko and Kyoko have a medium bond. Toko and Aoi have medium dislike. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, I did not set that for Aoi. Toko had medium dislike towards Aoi, and Aoi's was just neutral. So she decided to meet Toko on her level already. And then Toko has a medium bond towards Makoto. Sure. All right. Let's check in on Despair. Mukuro has the super idol. Nagito and Junko have mutual extreme hatred. Okay. Hajime and Chiaki have an unbreakable bond. Fujiko hates Junko. Fujiko and Chiaki have an unbreakable bond. I don't think I actually set that, even though it does make sense, so that's interesting. Nagito has extreme hatred for Mukuro. Fujiko has extreme hatred for Mukuro. Mukuro has a strong bond with Junko. Nagito has a strong bond with Hajime. Hajime and Fujiko have an strong bond. Okay, that was unbreakable, so it's kind of funny. It's already downgraded a little bit. And Chiaki has strong dislike towards Mukuro, which is also funny because I think I set her to extreme hatred for the Despairs, just like everybody else. So Mukuro's already making moves. I love it. All right. The V3 team, who lost and got nothing. They can't even make a fire. Kokichi immediately finds the hidden immunity idol. Oh, come on. This is just like Kokichi writing. Plot armor. There are no alliances. Kokichi has an unbreakable bond with Shuichi. Rantaro has extreme hatred for Sumugi. He found out that she killed him. Crazy. Maki has extreme hatred for Kokichi. Kaede has extreme hatred to Sumugi. She also found out. Kokichi has extreme hatred towards Sumugi. Maki has extreme hatred for Sumugi. Shuichi and Kaede have an unbreakable bond. Shuichi and Maki have an unbreakable bond. Shuichi hates Sumugi. And Sumugi has a little bit of a dislike towards Kokichi, which I don't think I even, gave to her. That just happened naturally, which is accurate. All right. Immunity challenge, Tracks of My Tears. Wow, that sounds like a Danganronpa chapter if I've ever heard one. They run up a cargo net to the top of a tower. Everyone has to pull a cart to the top. They'll careen down in the cart. Whoa! Where they choose one of three mazes. The first to choose. Second will choose the two remaining. The one will get the one that's left. Okay, they run up another tower. Pull up and lock in their maze. First to try to get 3 balls into the slots wins. Okay, cool. Despair wins and Truth wins, which means Hope will be going to the first tribal council. That's rough for them. They all like each other. What are they going to do? But now Mukuro is going to give somebody a hidden immunity idol, and I wonder who she'll give it to. Byakuya and Toko have a minor disagreement. Well, that sounds about right. Hope Alliance 1! Oh, wow, that's a great name. Kyoko, Makoto, and Toko. What? Okay. That's pretty funny. Why Toko is there? Why is Toko there? Maybe they heard about the events of Ultra Despair Girls, and Makoto's like, well, Kamaru seems to like her a lot. Anyway, Byakuya is targeting Yasuhiro because he finds Yasuhiro to be a challenge liability. Yeah. Aoi's targeting Byakuya because she considers Byakuya a liability. Interesting. And the Alliance are targeting Hiro. So it's Hiro or Byakuya. I mean, we all know Byakuya has plot armor, so... Mukuro has the super immunity idol, but she can't use it, so she's going to have to give that to somebody. I wonder when that's going to happen. I thought that said Chiaki is depressing the rest of the team. No, she's impressing them. That makes more sense. Chiaki and Nagito have a major fight. Uh-oh. And Despair Alliance 1 of Chiaki and Hajime forms. I did not intend for the first alliance on both teams to include main character plus sidekick. In the first case, Makoto's the sidekick, but it's how it's worked out. Kokichi has the hidden immunity idol, yep. Sumugi has a major meltdown, sounds about right. So does Rantaro, yep. And Kaede and Kokichi have a major fight. Yep, okay, this is all sounding perfectly accurate. Truth Alliance 1 forms. Interestingly, Shuichi did not invite Kaede, but that's probably because Maki doesn't like have any specific feelings towards her. So these two, the survivors, are teaming up. Again, it's actually the main character and the sidekick, kind of. So that's interesting. Mukuro gives the Hinamine idol to Toko. Why? Oh, maybe, you know what? Makoto was like, Mukuro, no one would vote me out, but, you know, Toko could be at risk. It could have happened. Hero. Byakuya. Byakuya. 2 for Byakuya. Hero. Hero. First person voted out of Survivors versus Healers versus Hustlers, or Hope versus Despair versus Truth. Yasuhiro Gakure. He's continuing his curse from the demos of these games, and he's decided to be the first one out again. Goodbye, Hero. Nothing of value was lost. Yeah, Aoi voted for Byakuya. Who else did, though, is the question. Oh, Hero. Duh. Okay, that makes sense. Hope. Already shrinking. Despair. Junko's loving it. Okay. How much would Junko love this game and the survivors from Danganronpa 1 having to betray each other? It's kind of perfect, huh? Makoto finds the hidden immunity idol. Ultimate lucky student. He did it. So that's interesting. Their alliance is still going strong, although Toko's a little less loyal, but not seriously. We'll see if anything's changed, and I'll highlight it. Everything looks normal so far. Yep. Strong dislike. Okay, it was medium last time, I think. I think this bond is also increased. I think Toko and Kyoko are trust each other slightly more, probably because of the alliance. Toko's slightly less in love with Byakuya. Crazy. Kyoko and Aoi had a major falling out. That's weird. Like, it doesn't actually say that, but they had, like, a strong bond, and now it's only small. Chiaki finds the Despair hidden immunity idol. Oh, wow. They've all been found now. It's hilarious that Chiaki found it, though. I was expecting Nagito, but here we are. Alliance is strong. Yep. Everybody hates the Despairs. We understand. What? Oh, okay. No. Mutual unbreakable relationship. No, that's fine. Hatred for Junko. Strong bond with Junko. By the way, you'll notice this doesn't say mutual. Junko is completely neutral towards Mukuro, which I just thought was, fitting. Yeah, okay, that's still mutual strong bond. Strong bond, I think that's maybe an increase. And Junko has a strong bond with Hajime. Actually, I might have set that up because of Izuru. That would make sense. These guys are still going strong. Everything seems normal. Kokichi has an unbreakable relationship with Shuichi. Actually, that's increased, I think. It's also one-sided, which is funny. Strong dislike for Rantaro. Alright. Immunity challenge. Crossroads. They have to swim out to a floating ring and dive down to maneuver a set of puzzle pieces. The remaining members then have to solve the pieces on the puzzle on a signpost. First 2 will win. Hope and Despair win. Which means Truth. The V3 team will be going to to vote somebody out. Kyoko and Toko have a minor disagreement. Uh-oh. That's not good for the alliance. Byakuya and Toko bond slightly. Interesting. I wonder if these two things are related at all. Kyoko has a major meltdown. Kyoko, get it together. What? Okay, hold on. Okay, this is crazy. Okay, so Kyoko rejects Toko. Toko goes to Byakuya, and they slightly bond somehow. She has a major meltdown about it, and then they form an alliance together. All 3 of them. That's, like, not super loyal. Like, I wonder... Okay, here's how I would explain this, right? Makoto set up this alliance with him, Kyoko, and Toko, right? And Toko said something like, you know, it's not practical. The three of us don't have enough power to win in challenges or whatever. And so they have this minor disagreement. And then Toko goes to Byakuya and is like, you know, I'm strong in one form. You're smart. If we work together, maybe we could be a strong alliance. And Byakuya, despite not liking her, is like, well, I can't argue with the logic. And then Kyoko is kind of depressed about this, and Byakuya is like, Kyoko, we need you. We're going to make an awesome alliance that actually has a chance of winning the game. And being a pragmatic person, Kyoko agrees to join, even though none of them really like each other. And then Aoi works hard at camp and becomes tired. Classic, classic, classic all around. All right. Despair. Junko and Mukuro bond. Aww. For real. Fuyiko and Hajime have a minor disagreement. Uh-oh. Hajime and Mukuro have a small fight. Don't fight Mukuro. I guess he's got the power to do it. It's fine. He's not going to instantly die. Maki and Rentaro bond slightly. Maki and Shuichi have a minor disagreement. Oh dear. All the main character sidekick groups are breaking down already. Kokichi's targeting Tsumugi. Considers Tsumugi a liability. Tsumugi's targeting Kokichi. She hates him. The Truth Alliance is targeting Tsumugi. And so we will see if Tsumugi will actually be voted out. Alright. Oh yeah, Kokichi has the hidden immunity. I forgot. There's no way he gets voted out, right? He doesn't play it. Well, this might be his last gambit. Kokichi. Tsumugi. 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 Well, I think he's alright. Tsumugi's gone. Okay. 5 votes Tsumugi, 1 for Kokichi. That makes sense. But now it's interesting because now Kokichi's the bad guy that everybody doesn't like. So this was kind of a tactical blunder, to be honest. All right, Despair is the only team that hasn't lost anybody yet, which is probably because they're hilariously broken. The only one that doesn't like have superpowers is Fuyiko. And I mean, Chiaki technically shouldn't either, but if the anime is anything to go by, she does. Hope Alliance won. These two are still quite, like, loyal, but Toko is going down every day. And then this alliance is just horrible, but Toko is loving it. Yeah, okay. Toko has an unbreakable relationship with Byakuya. This is all same stuff. Strong dislike. I think that was what it was at before. Toko's bond towards Makoto is growing. Good for her. Kyoko has a small bond with Byakuya. Interesting. Kyoko and Aoi have a mutual slight dislike. Come on. And Byakuya's hatred of Toko has calmed down quite considerably all of a sudden. Alright. Despair Alliance is still going good. Mukuro has an unbreakable relationship. Yeah, okay. I thought that might have upgraded to mutual. Not yet. Junko hates Fukihiko, which is kind of funny. Yes. Unbreakable bond. Mutual hatred. Extreme hatred. Extreme hatred. Yep, all over the place. Nagito and Chiaki have a strong bond now. Maybe he'll get invited into the alliance and it can be the 3 of them. Alright, Truth Alliance still going. Yup. I kind of find it funny that, like, Shuichi hasn't formed an alliance with Kaede yet. We'll see. Shuichi and Rantaro have a mutual mild dislike. Interesting. So do Maki and Kaede. Okay. And Kokichi has started to dislike Kaede too. That's not good for Kaede, to be fair. A lot of people don't like her, so Immunity challenge, blocking a hard place. Tribes race through a series of obstacles. Okay. They have to stack blocks on top of each other. The first 2 to finish their stack and stand on it for 3 seconds wins. Okay. Hope wins. They win 3 hens and a rooster. Truth wins. They get a dozen eggs. Which means Despair. Wow, it's really even. Despair is going to be going to the Tribal Council. I don't know why I keep forgetting what it's called. Aoi and Kyoko fight again. Oh no. But then they bond slightly. Okay, maybe they just have a messy relationship. Maybe it's, you know, maybe it's fine. Hope Alliance 2, Byakuya leaves. Well, he could not stand them for that long. That's just hilarious. And then Kyoko decides to rest at camp instead of working. It's so hilarious that Toko essentially set up this alliance and the whole reason for it is now gone. I do not expect it to last that much longer, but you know, sometimes they do, you know? If the last 2 videos are anything to go by. Fiko and Mukuro have a major fight. People should stop fighting Mukuro, seriously. Gonna die. Chiaki and Junko bond. Whoa, that's not good. Nagito's targeting Mukuro. Mukuro's targeting Hajime. Well, that's certainly not gonna happen. Junko's targeting Fuyuhiko. Fuyuhiko's targeting Junko. So Hope Alliance 1 are targeting Junko. Okay, that's funny. They're not targeting Mukuro. So it's Mukuro or Junko. The sisters. I mean, that tracks. I really hope Mukuro doesn't go out, though, because honestly, she had a really interesting start. So I want to see what'll happen here. Kokichi has the idol. Him and Maki have a major fight, and that's all that happens. Okay, time to vote. Nobody plays their idol. Mukuro, Junko. Junko. Hajime. What? It's just like sitting there stunned. Mukuro. Please, Junko. Junko! Okay, Junko is voted out. Whew. Can you tell I like Mukuro? I want the best for her, alright? Chiaki voted for Junko. Fuyuko voted for Junko. Hajime voted for Junko. Junko voted for Mukuro. Yep, that sounds about right. Mukuro voted for Hajime. She was supposed to vote for Junko, but disagreed. And Nagito voted for Mukuro, too. Well, we're all evened up again. Oh, boy. These are very... Like, the people who've gone out are already... It's quite interesting. Like, Hiro is pretty obvious, but... Samugi and Junko being gone already. As part of a twist, new tribes are randomly assigned. There will be 3 tribes. Oh, we're already mixing things up. Oh, boy. You know, if Junko had just survived one more... she probably could have, you know, hid under the radar a bit longer. Okay. Oh, boy. So the new Hope team is Byakuya, Hajime, Kokichi, Kyoko, and Toko. That's hilarious. Byakuya, Kyoko, and Toko are all still on the same team. So their awkward relationship alliance is still here. The new Despair team has a single Despair on it, and it's Nagito. So does that even count? It's also got Kaede, Maki, Makoto, and Rantaro. Kaede and Maki not big fans of each other. Nagito is in love with Makoto, like unbreakable bond is what I mean. And Rantaro is also here. And then the new Truth team, Aoi out on her own. Might honestly be good for her because she seemed to be getting on everybody's nerves on the Hope team. Along with Chiaki, Fuyuhiko, Mukuro, and Shuichi. I don't think Aoi and Mukuro like each other. I think Aoi hates Mukuro. But Shuichi has no hard feelings, so, you know. I also don't think Chiaki does. Well, I think Chiaki might have grown them, if I remember correctly. So, unfortunately, like, voting block-wise, I think, obviously, Hope is still in control of the Hope team, and I feel like Kokichi's in big danger. In the Despair team, somehow, the V3 characters have the largest voting block, but they're not really working together, so it's really anybody's game. Honestly, probably Makoto will just run the place, because Makoto and Nagito are going to probably team up. And then the Truth team is run by the Despairs. But, like, Chiaki and Fuyuhiko work together, but they don't work with Mukuro. So all it would take is Shuichi and Mukuro teaming up, and suddenly it'd be 2 groups of 2 with Aoi on the outside. So, we'll see. Alright. Kokichi has the Truth Hidden Immunity Idol. Alliance 1, Makoto got airlifted out of there, so did Chiaki. So, technically, Kyoko and Toko are still in an alliance, although they don't like each other very much. And Hajime has been left all on his own. And Kyoko and Toko are in a second alliance together, and also don't like each other very much. Very funny. So we'll have to look for new stuff being created here. Oh, there already is some. Okay. Byakuya has once again gone to medium dislike towards Toko. Wow, just like a slingshot. He had like a slight... It moved up from medium dislike to slight dislike and right back down to medium dislike. And also that has attached itself to Kyoko as well. Interesting. Kokichi and Hajime bond slightly. Well, that's good, probably. That's good for everybody, right? Nothing terrible could happen because of this. Kyoko and Kokichi have mutual slight dislike. That makes sense to me. And Kokichi and Byakuya have mutual slight dislike. That also makes a lot of sense. Alright, the new despairs. All the alliances are broken up here. Everybody's fending for himself. Nagito Komaeda hates Maki. Oh, right. I forgot. I think Nagito hates everybody from V3 because they're all fake ultimates. Nagito has an unbreakable relationship with Makoto. Hates Rantaro. Hates Kaede. Rantaro and Maki have a mutual slight bond, or small bond. Interesting. Maki and Kaede have mutual mild dislike. Rantaro does not like Nagito. Neither does Maki. Makoto and Kaede have a mutual slight dislike with each other. Oh, come on, guys. Rantaro and Kaede have a mutual slight dislike, too. Didn't they just have a mutual slight bond? Or was that Maki last time, too? Things are not going well in that team. Everybody dislikes each other. Meanwhile, on the New Truth team, everybody's alliances are broken up once again. Fuyuko hates Mukuro, yeah. Aoi hates Mukuro, yeah. Fuyuko and Chiaki have an unbreakable relationship. Chiaki hates Mukuro. Mukuro doesn't like Fuyuko. Mukuro, she's got a medium bond with Aoi. Yeah, I think both the Despairs actually have, like, medium bonds with all of the Hope players because, you know, that's how it supposedly works out. In Danganronpa 1, slight dislike for Chiaki, Mukuro has. Fuyuko and Aoi have a mutual slight bond. Interesting. Shuichi and Aoi have a mutual slight bond. Suddenly, Aoi is a social butterfly. And Shuichi and Fuyuko have a mutual slight dislike. Huh. Alright. Tangled up. 3 members of each tribe are tied to a braided rope. They have to work together to unravel it. Once they're free, they use a rope to pull a sled. And then solve a puzzle, of course. Hope wins a reward. So that's Byakuya, Kyoko, Toko, Kokichi, and Hajime. And Toko finds a secret advantage hidden in potato chips. Oh, it's a vote blocker power. It can use to block one player from voting in the next tribal council. I assume the next tribal council they're in, because they're not going to be in the next one. They just want immunity. Color and the Shape. Wow, I love that album. Tribes race out to crates of puzzle pieces. Tribes will race out to a crate of puzzle pieces. Okay, that does grammatically make sense. I don't know. My brain couldn't comprehend it for a second. They maneuver through a maze under a net. Using the puzzle pieces, they'll solve the puzzle. The first 2 tribes to finish win. Okay, wait. Well, that was an extra challenge. Oh, okay. So they could have gone to the thing, and Toko could have had to use it. But no, they won immunity again. As well as the Despair team, which is Kaede, Maki, Makoto, Nagito, and Rantaro. Which means Truth is headed back to the... Hold on. I want to go back for a second. Yeah, Mukuro's probably in danger, because they didn't win, unfortunately. Toko has the vote blocker. Hajime and Kyoko find something in common. Aw. Byakuya and Hajime find something in common. Wow, interesting. He's like filling in for Makoto. Makoto and Rantaro bond strongly. Oh, interesting. I mean, that's a very Makoto thing to do. And then they instantly have a minor disagreement. Okay. And Nagito lazes around all day. Fuyuko's impressing the rest of the team. And bonds with Mukuro. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, guys. And he's also impressing the rest of the team again. Wow, he's really impressive. Shaki's targeting Mukuro. Mukuro's targeting Shuichi. Shuichi's targeting Fuyuko. Interesting. So Fuyuko might turn on Shuichi. But would that be enough to actually stop Mukuro from getting voted out? I don't know. What? Aoi's lost her vote? As in, like, she lost the piece of paper, or Toko blocked her, which would be even funnier. No one has the immunity idol. Okay, let's see. Because this would be a tie, probably, if Aoi lost her vote. Shuichi. Aoi. Who voted Aoi? Shuichi. Oh my god, Mukuro is going to stay. Shuichi is voted out. I gotta see who voted for who. Chiaki voted for Shuichi, Fuyuhiko voted for Shuichi, and Mukuro voted for Shuichi. I guess because Fuyuhiko and Chiaki have an unbreakable bond, the fact that Fuyuhiko didn't want to vote for Mukuro bled over into her not wanting to vote for Mukuro either. Which means the Despairs are actually teaming up, which is unexpected. I thought they were all going to infight this entire time. And they voted out Shuichi, who voted for Aoi. Dang. Kaede lasted longer than Shuichi this time, anyway. I mean, this team is still not doing great. It's basically just physical strength, plus Chiaki is also there, so I don't expect them to win very many challenges, but who knows? Kokichi has a hidden immunity idol. Okay, let's see how things have maybe shaken up here. Somehow this alliance is still going, despite them hating each other. Hajime and Byakuya have a mutual medium bond. They like each other. Toko and Kyoko have mild dislike. Yep. Kyoko and Hajime have a mutual small bond. Okay, so bonded better with Byakuya than Kyoko. That is interesting. Actually, that does kind of make sense. Byakuya is all about, like, you know, he'll bond with people he finds useful. And Hajime is clearly useful with all the Izuru powers, right? Whereas Kyoko is much more closed off, even if, you know, she also might like Hajime's sort of steez. Byakuya still doesn't like Toko. Still doesn't like Kyoko. Kokichi and Hajime have a slight bond. Hajime's just making friends with everybody. He's Freetome eventing it out here. Kokichi and Byakuya have a slight dislike. Kyoko and Kokichi have a slight dislike. And Toko and Kokichi have a slight dislike, yeah. It's almost like Kokichi's annoying or something. Okay. Nagito hates all the V3 characters, yes. Oh, and his bond with Makoto has slightly gone down. I can't believe it. Rantaro dislikes Nagito, so does Maki. And they like each other, so that works out. Maki and Kaede have upgraded to medium dislike. Come on, guys, work together. Come on. Makoto has a medium dislike towards Nagito. It's almost like he's annoying or something. Rantaro and Makoto have a mutual slight bond. And now we are on Team Truth. Aoi hates Mukuro. Fuyuhiko has an unbreakable bond with Chiaki. Chiaki has an unbreakable bond with Fuyuhiko. Chiaki feels strong dislike towards Mukuro still. Mukuro has a medium bond with Aoi, but it's not mutual. Fuyuhiko has only medium dislike towards Mukuro now. Mukuro has medium dislike towards Chiaki. Fuyuhiko and Aoi have a mutual slight bond. Mukuro has a slight bond with Fuyuhiko. Oh, Mukuro. And Chiaki and Aoi have a mutual slight dislike for one another. That's weird, but can happen, I guess. It's so sad that everybody hates her, and she's like, wow, someone showed me kindness one time. I liked that. Yeah, anyway. Surprisingly, the team with less people and they all kind of are good at only one thing lost. So Hope and Despair are staying strong, and once again, our oh wait, that was just a reward challenge, but it happened again anyway. So what did they win in the reward? Oh, coffee. Okay, sure. They win again. So once again, Mukuro's team Truth will be going to the vote out section. Kokichi and Toko have a major fight with a lasting impact. Uh-oh. Nagito and Rantaro have a small fight with a lasting impact. Maki and Makoto have a major fight. Uh-oh. And Makoto and Rantaro have a small fight. What the hell did Makoto do? It's almost like he's annoying or something. Fuyuhiko and Mukuro bond strongly. Wow. Okay, maybe they're like bonding over family trauma. I could honestly see that. I mean, their families both kill people I mean, counting Mukuro's family is the people who raised her, which is a bunch of mercenaries in the desert. So that could make sense. Aoi's targeting Mukuro. Mukuro's targeting Chiaki. Well, I wouldn't do that. Fuyuko's targeting Aoi. Mukuro, you gotta vote Aoi. I know you like her, but Mukuro, you gotta do it if you want to survive. Please, Mukuro. Alright, it's time to vote. Chiaki. Mukuro. Mukuro. Goodbye, Mukuro. You lasted longer than I thought you would, to be honest. And yeah, hey, you made a friend. How nice. Yeah. Fuyuko had to vote for her in the end, because she was going to vote for Chiaki, which obviously he wasn't going to do, so... Sad, but, you know, it's how it works. It's the game of Survivor. Well, okay. Are we going to swap the teams again? Because the truth team is getting a little bit tiny. Yep. Toko and Kokichi have mutual extreme hatred. Interesting. Hajime and Byakuya have a medium bond now. Byakuya has medium dislike still with Toko. Toko and Kyoko have mild dislike. Small bond, that's normal. That's the same. Kokichi and Hajime have a mutual slight bond. Okay. Kyoko has a slight bond toward Byakuya, which is not mutual. He still has a medium dislike for her. And Kyoko and Kokichi have mutual slight dislike. Despairs. Nagito hates all the V3 characters, we know. Rentaro has extreme hatred for Nagito. Nagito has a medium bond with Makoto. Rentaro and Maki have a medium bond. That's an upgrade. Maki has medium dislike for Nagito. Maki and Kaede feel mutual medium dislike for one another. Sad. Makoto and Maki have mild dislike. No! Makoto has medium dislike for Nagito. Makoto doesn't like people. He's just not vibing with this new team. He's like, I miss my friends, man. Alright. Fuyuko and Chiaki are still rocking with this unbreakable relationship. And they both have a slight bond with Aoi. Alright. Reward challenge. Hope wins pizzas. And despair wins pizza. Okay, actual immunity challenge. All members of the tribe have to pull on a rope to balance or suspend a disc. They have to stack blocks spelling immunity on the disc while pulling the rope. If anyone falls off the balance beam or their block stack falls, they have to start over. Somehow, Truth was the first to finish. And Despair was the second. Which means Neo Hope, Kokichi, Byakuya, Hajime, Kyoko, and Toko are headed to the Tribal Council. I can't remember. Every time I forget. Okay. Byakuya and Hajime have a minor disagreement. Uh-oh. Kokichi and Kyoko, rather, bond strongly. Oh. Byakuya has a meltdown and almost quits the game as a result, but decides to stay. Wow. Honestly, if Byakuya just quit, that would fit his character a lot, too. What do I need the money for? I was doing this for the glory, but honestly, I can't stand being around these stupid people anymore. Toko's targeting Kokichi. Kokichi is targeting Toko. Kyoko's targeting Byakuya, because she considers him a liability. Wow, it's been so long since I've seen an alliance actually target somebody. So the Kyoko-Toko alliance is targeting Kokichi, and the other Kyoko-Toko alliance are targeting Kokichi. Who would have thought? Alright. Kaede and Nagito have a small fight. Uh-oh. Nagito's impressing the rest of the team, though. And Kaede and Rentaro have a minor disagreement, but it has a lasting impact. Kaede having a bad day. Aoi and Chiaki find something in common. It has a lasting impact. How nice. Chiaki and Fuyuko bond strongly, as if they didn't already have the highest bond available, but, you know. She works hard at camp and sleeps. That sounds like Chiaki, yeah. Alright, the vote. If anyone has the hidden immunity... Oh my god, I forgot Kokichi has the hidden immunity idol. They can't vote him out. It's not looking good for Byakuya. Okay. Kokichi plays his hidden immunity idol.
It's my turn now.
You didn't think my plot armor was over that quickly, did you? Okay. Here come the votes. Kokichi doesn't count. Kokichi doesn't count. Kokichi doesn't count. Byakuya 1 vote left. Byakuya is voted out with a gambit from Kokichi. Wow. And he was going to leave the game on his own volition. He could have saved face. Hajime voted for Byakuya, and so did Kokichi. Honestly, if Hajime had voted for Kokichi, he still would have got Byakuya out, which is hilarious. That real Kokichi move there. I like it. The teams are whittling down here. I'm expecting we get a... Okay, I was going to say, I expect we get a shakeup pretty quick, and then I saw the next thing to come up. It's the merge. We're all one team now. Oh, this should be interesting. The future team. We've got Hajime, Kaede, and Makoto have all made it this far. Nagito and Kokichi made it. Byakuya almost made it this far. Kyoko, Chiaki, and Maki have all made it this far too, which is interesting. I guess Shuichi would kind of count as Kaede's sidekick, and he didn't make it, but you know. And then it's just, you know, Aoi, Toko, and Rantaro. And Fuyuhiko. It's all the main characters and then these guys. Alright. The future hidden immunity idol is not currently hidden. The secret advantage is hidden. Kaede finds the vote sacrifice. Oh no! Kaede, don't use the sacrifice! This is an extra vote power that can be used at one tribal council up to the final 6. In order to unlock this, she must sacrifice her vote at the next tribal council. I mean, that should be fine. They're not going to vote you out, right? But, like, sheesh. Do not give Kaede the sacrifice. Okay. Chiaki still got an immunity idol. Kaede has to sacrifice her vote to unlock an extra vote, and Makoto has an immunity idol. Hope Alliance 1! They're back together. Hope Alliance 2, or Despair Alliance 1, rather, is back together. I should give them actual names now, even though there hasn't been, like, 2 alliances on either team. I feel like that might happen now that they're all merged together. So, the Kyoko Toko Alliance plus Makoto, I guess I'll just call that can be the Hope Alliance. That's fine. Hajime and Chiaki aren't really despairs necessarily, though. So they should have a different... I'll call them the Future Alliance. Because they're headed toward the future, or whatever Hajime says at the end of the game. And then the Kyoko Toko Alliance is this one that sucks and that is just a worse version of the Hope Alliance. Alright. Hajime and Chiaki have mutual unbreakable bond. Okay. Nagito has extreme hatred for Maki. I forgot. He has extreme hatred for everybody from V3. Fuyuhiko and Chiaki have an unbreakable bond. Toko and Aoi have extreme hatred. Makoto and Kyoko, mutual unbreakable bond. Toko and Kokichi have extreme hatred for each other. Makoto and Aoi have an unbreakable bond. Maki hates Kokichi. Nagito has an unbreakable bond with Toko, and Nagito hates Kokichi. Alright, the immunity challenge. Oh boy, look who won. Using centrifugal force. The castaways have to keep a ball spinning within a wheel. Anyway, the last one spinning the ball wins, and it is Kokichi. So, can't be voted out this time, even though everybody probably would have voted him. Sucks. Alright. Hajime and Kyoko have a major fight. Uh-oh. And Hajime and Maki find something in common. The crossover between the casts is probably the most interesting part of this, I think. Whoa! Okay. Oh my god. This is crazy. Okay. Nothing makes more sense than calling this the Future Alliance. So I guess the other Future Alliance, which was Hajime and Chiaki, is just going to be the Despair Alliance again. Because, oh my god, Aoi, Chiaki, Fuyuhiko, Hajime, Makoto, and Nagito all teaming up for an alliance. It's not particularly highly loyal, but they are the voting bloc on this team now. Like, whoever they decide to vote out will be voted out, more likely than not. As long as they continue to work together. Wow, that's so weird. Hajime and Nagito, Makoto and Aoi, and then Chiaki and Fuyuhiko are all like, you know, strong bonds with each other. Rantaro's targeting Nagito. Well, that's not going to go well for him. Kokichi's targeting Maki. That could happen. And Kyoko's targeting Fuyuhiko. Once again, that's not going to go well for her. Aoi's targeting Toko. That could work. Hope Alliance won, so this is the Hope Alliance. It's Kyoko, Toko, Makoto. Are targeting Rantaro. The Despair Alliance is targeting Kyoko. The Kyoko Toko Alliance are targeting Nagito. And the Future Alliance are targeting Kaede, of all people. Not good for Kaede. Alright, let's see. Kokichi has immunity. Nagito has a hidden immunity idol, and so does Chiaki. Kaede has to sacrifice her vote in order to get an extra one for later. Will she do it? She does. They might kill you for that, Kaede. But we'll see. First vote. Kaede. Rantaro. Kyoko. Okay, very interesting. Kaede. Rantaro. Kyoko. Kaede. Oh, Kaede got voted out. Dang. She was gonna have a cool vote. She freaking did the sacrifice thing. I told her it would. I knew it would be a bad idea. I say I told her like she's listening to me, but you know, anybody could have seen this coming. Don't let Kaede do the sacrifice play. Chiaki voted for Kyoko. Oh, because of the Hajime Alliance, right? Hajime also voted for Kyoko, which means he went against the Future Alliance to do that, which is interesting. Kokichi just decided to vote for Kaede. Rude. Maki voted Kaede, yeah. Rantaro also decided to vote out Kaede. She had no friends. It sucks. Alright. Next. Hope Alliance 1, Despair Alliance, the Kyoko Toko, and Future Alliances are all still hanging in there. Although, surprisingly, the one with the least loyalty in the Future Alliance is Makoto. And I wonder if that's just because he has such strong loyalty to the the Hope Alliance, who the other two members aren't in this Future Alliance. Naito, okay, yeah, Unbreakable Bond, Extreme Hatred, Mutual Unbreakable Bond. Extreme Hatred for Kokichi from Toko. Unbreakable Bond. Kokichi also hates Toko. Good for them, I guess. Toko and Aoi have Extreme Hatred. Makoto is still an Unbreakable Bond with Toko. Maki has Extreme Hatred for Kokichi, and Makoto and Aoi have an Unbreakable Bond. Yeah, okay, that all seems the same, I think. Alright. Reward challenge. Divided into 2 teams of 5. Does that work? Isn't there an odd one out? Whatever. At the top of the tower, they have to use a slingshot and sandbags to hit 5 targets. The first one wins. Group 1 is Chiaki, Kokichi, Maki, Makoto, and Rantaro. Not very strong in terms of like relationships with one another. Whereas the second group of Aoi, Fujiko, Hajime, Kyoko, and Toko. Okay, hold on, wait, that's so funny. They do trust each other a lot more because they're all basically in an alliance. Well, at least half the team is in the alliance, and the other half of the team are in their own alliance. Nagito randomly chosen not to participate and just win the reward automatically. Yep, that sounds right. Okay, who wins? Oh, surprisingly, it's group 2, the people who know each other better. Okay. They win spaghetti with Nagito. Spaghetti with Nagito. Sounds like a great time. Standing on a narrow beam using a long pole, the castaways must balance a statue. The last person left wins. And Nagito is that person. Wow. Everything's coming up Nagito today. I feel like Nagito, like, how he would win that kind of challenge is he'd just, like, have his statue on the big beam, and he'd, like, whoops, and throw it off, and it would, like, bounce off everybody else's statues and knock them down, and then land perfectly back on his beam. You know? Okay. Events. Aoi has a major meltdown, and Maki works hard and becomes tired. Nagito is targeting Kokichi. Toko's targeting Aoi. Kokichi's targeting Toko. Kyoko's targeting Hajime. Kyoko is least connected to Hajime overall. Interesting. And Hajime is targeting Kyoko because he also feels they are the least connected overall. It's like political mind games at this point. Like everybody has like been on a team with each other at some point, or is like in an alliance. So now it's just like, well, I mean, I know Kyoko the least, so I guess I'll vote for her. It's funny. The Hope Alliance are targeting Kokichi. The Despair Alliance are targeting Kokichi. The Kyoko Toko Alliance are targeting Aoi, but I imagine that will be outweighed by the Hope Alliance targeting Kokichi. And of course, the Future Alliance also are targeting Kokichi. If he somehow weasels his way out of this again, I don't know what I'm going to do. Alright, Nagito has immunity. And then there's some idols, which aren't going to be used, I don't think. Wait, what? Okay, Chiaki uses her immunity idol for some reason. In previous ones, that's kind of a death flag, or a getting voted out flag. Is when you randomly use, one of these characters randomly uses their immunity idol, like when it's like not warranted at all. It's like in the next couple episodes they get voted out, and it's like, oh, okay, sure, why not? Anyway, Chiaki was paranoid, I guess, for some reason. First vote, Aoi. Second vote, Kokichi. Third vote, Kokichi. 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 Kokichi is voted out, yeah. Final vote is 10 for Kokichi and 1 for Aoi. Everybody's had enough of this guy. I tried to save you from yourselves. And everybody's like, yeah, get out of here, man. This isn't that kind of a game. All right. V3, interestingly, has been cut down to only 2 members, while the other 2 both have 4. Alliances are still hanging in there. Yep, all of them are still going. Nagito's actually gotten more loyal to the Future Alliance, which I think is funny. Toko and Aoi hate each other. That all is the same, I think. Yeah, Nagito has an unbreakable bond with Toko? Since when? Okay. Rentaro and Maki have upgraded to an unbreakable bond too. Probably because they're the last 2 left from their team. That kind of makes sense. And then Hajime and Fujiko have a strong bond still. Alright, this is a reward challenge, not immunity. Divided into 2 teams of 5. They swim up to a ladder, climb it, leap into the water, and retrieve a key. Then they unlock a chest containing balls they have to score in a basketball hoop to win. Team 1 is Aoi, Chiaki, Kyoko, Makoto, and Rantaro. So, a bunch of misfits, basically. And Team 2 is the Future Alliance plus Toko and Maki. So I guess it's basically the same thing again. That's last time, where Team 2 is like people who know each other and like each other, and a couple misfits, whereas the first one is basically all misfits. I mean, Chiaki and Makoto are on an alliance together, but that's it, I think. And maybe Aoi's in that alliance too, I don't remember. Anyway. Group 1 ends up winning, and they get pizzas again. Wow, pizzas are all over the place. Alright. Squatty propes? What? Okay. Castaways have to stand in a squatting position. Releasing the safety from their apparatus holding up an urn of water above a fire. If they stand too high, the urn will spill. If they go too low, a flag will release, eliminating them from the challenge. Sure. Okay. Fujiko wins. He's got squat game for real, I guess. Anyway. Oh, a new alliance forms. The Misfits Alliance. I like this. Okay, Aoi, Maki, and Rantaro form an alliance. That's interesting, because these 3 have never been in an alliance in the entire game so far yet, right? I don't think Aoi's in the Future Alliance. Maybe she is. I don't know. Maki rests at camp. Kyoko is injured, but gets treated and can stay in the game. Uh-oh. The last challenge involved fire. She didn't burn herself again, did she? Oh no. Toko's targeting Aoi. Toko extremely despises Aoi. Rantaro's targeting Nagito. He dislikes Nagito. Aoi's targeting Kyoko. She doesn't like Kyoko. Nagito's targeting Maki. Hates her. Makoto's targeting Rantaro. Doesn't like him. This is interesting. So all 3 members of this alliance are, as I kind of implied by naming them the Misfits or the Outcasts, being targeted by different people in bigger alliances right now. So we'll see if they can somehow swing something or like split the vote in their favor. So the Hope Alliance is targeting Maki. The Despair Alliance is targeting Kyoko. Wow. Interestingly enough, the Hope Alliance isn't like super loyal. Makoto's very loyal to it, but the other 2 are mid. Whereas the Despair Alliance between Chiaki and Hajime is like max loyalty. The Kyoko Toko Alliance are targeting Aoi. Everybody's targeting someone else. This is weird. In the Future Alliance, okay, Aoi is a member of this alliance, so she's technically not a misfit, but people are still targeting her. Are targeting Maki, officially. And then the Misfits Alliance are targeting Kyoko. This is crazy. Alright, I have no idea who's going to be voted out at this point. There's so many names. Let's just see what happens. It's time to vote. No one plays an immunity idol. First vote, Maki. Second vote, Kyoko. Maki. Maki. Kyoko. Kyoko. Tied at 3-3 right now. Next vote, Maki. Maki. Kyoko. One vote left. Oh my god, is it going to be a tie? No, it goes to Maki. Rest in peace. I mean, they're not actually dead this time. They're just getting voted out of a reality TV show, but still. That new alliance didn't end up actually working out. They couldn't stop Maki from getting voted out. Which means Rantaro's probably next. It's looking very hope and despair coded. Let's see. All the alliances are staying together. Hajime got slightly less loyal just because I brought it up last time, I guess. Somehow the Kyoko Toko alliance is still together with 3 loyalty each. I don't know. Maybe they forgot they're in this alliance because they're just in a bigger alliance with Makoto and they're like, oh yeah. We technically have our own alliance without him, but whatever. The Future Alliance still hanging in there. Although loyalty is waning slightly. Actually, it's just Chiaki absorbed all the loyalty from everybody else. And the Misfits Alliance, they're not super loyal with each other. Alright. Mutual unbreakable bonds and hatred all over. Yeah, I don't think anything different is happening there. Okay, reward challenge. Fuyuko wins a reward in The Game is Afoot. Decides to share it with Chiaki, Hajime, and Makoto. Doing a tour of the islands. A feast of cheeseburgers, french fries, beer, and letters from home. Oh god, Junko collected letters from home again. Be careful. However, on the actual immunity challenge, where it really matters, perched on a roof-shaped structure, where they balance on narrow beams, Nagito wins, again. His luck is really pulling through. Chiaki finds the future hidden immunity idol. Oh yeah, because she used hers. I forgot. I was like, she already had one. No, she found another one. Okay, so maybe she is safe. And Nagito has the hope of hidden immunity idol still. He found this on day 1 and has just been holding on to it. He's just got the little, like, you know, the hidden immunity idols are always a little bit styled for whatever, like, location the Survivor game is in. But because this is hope versus despair versus truth or whatever, I like to think that it's it's like, you know, a little Hope's Peak Academy symbol or something, and he's just been like carrying that around with him this whole time. Fuyuko and Kyoko have a major fight, which causes Kyoko to have a major meltdown. Aoi's targeting Toko, Toko's targeting Aoi. Hajime's targeting Rantaro. Fuyuko's targeting Kyoko. The Hope Alliance are targeting Aoi. How could you betray one of your own? The Despair Alliance is targeting Toko. And Chiaki also lost the point of loyalty just because I brought it up. Okay. The Kyoko Toko Alliance are doing the same thing as the Hope Alliance. Who would have thought? And the Future Alliance are targeting Kyoko officially. Which is funny because Makoto is in this alliance. And like, you know, in an alliance with Kyoko. So we'll see how that pans out. Oh, the Future Alliance is considering splitting the vote between Kyoko and Toko. Interesting. So one of the two of them would go out. Which, again, Makoto's in an alliance with both of these people. So I feel like he's not going to split the vote with them. But if he doesn't... This is weird, because the way you would do this, right, in the actual game, obviously this is just a simulation, but in the actual game, everybody would decide who they're voting for, and because they have an even number of votes, they would split them between these two people. But if Makoto decides to not vote for either of them, that actually screws whoever he's supposed to vote for, or whoever he's not supposed to vote for, rather, over. So it doesn't really help if he doesn't split the vote. It'd be better if he just tied between the two of them, if anything. Unless he can convince enough people to vote for Rantaro instead or something. The Misfits are targeting Toko. So let's see what happens. It's all Hope team members that are on the block today. Oh, he could also use his hidden immunity idol on Kyoko or Toko right here. Makoto could actually save them that way. If anyone wants to use an immunity idol, now's the time. He doesn't. All right. First vote, Aoi. Second vote, Toko. Third vote, Rantaro. I'm going to be all over the place. Fourth vote, Aoi. It's 2 for Aoi. Fifth vote, Toko. Sixth vote, Toko. Seventh vote, Toko. And Toko is voted out of the game. Finally, the Kyoko-Toko alliance is broken. All right. Let's see if Makoto abstained. Yeah, he was supposed to vote for Aoi but disagreed and vote for Rantaro instead. Interesting. Well, bye, Toko. It is kind of funny how all main characters, like all the main characters other than Byakuya, arguably, and I guess Kaede and Shuichi, but most of the people who are left are main characters. It's just like Aoi, Fujiko, and Rantaro. And when they keep voting out people who are not main characters. All right. Alliances. Suddenly, Kyoko's feeling a lot more loyal to this alliance with Makoto. Who would have thought? Spare Alliance is still holding in there. The Future Alliance, it's doing all right. It's not terrible. And the Misfits Alliance is a little weak. But, you know, it's because they're both on the chopping block pretty quick here, probably. I mean, I keep thinking Aoi is on the outside, but I keep forgetting she's in the Future Alliance with all these people who are, you know, much more powerful in terms of the game than her. So, yep, unbreakable relationships all around. Kyoko and Aoi still hate each other. Hate to see it. Chiaki and Aoi have a mutual strong bond. Interesting. I don't remember that. And Nagito's extreme hatred for Fujiko? I don't remember that either. Nagito has a strong bond with Aoi. It's crazy what an alliance will do. Anyway, reward. The first group is Aoi, Fujiko, Hajime, and Kyoko. Second group is going to win. And they don't. Okay, never mind. I was going to say, it's Chiaki, Makoto, Nagito, and Rantaro. Like, there's a much stronger team overall. But hey, Group 1 wins. A trip to the spa. All right. So, hold on. What I was going to say, and I was like, I don't know if I will. Anyway, Fujiko and Hajime obviously have this, like, bro bond in the game. So that makes sense. Aoi and Kyoko in this game currently hate each other, and now they're going to the spa together. So we'll see what the fallout of that would be. The immunity challenge is won by Hajime, which is interesting because they have to solve a puzzle which says invulnerable. And that's the one he can win. Yep, they have idols, we know. Kyoko and Makoto find something in common. Wow, crazy. It's almost like they have an unbreakable bond with each other. Hajime and Rantaro have a major fight. Uh-oh. Meanwhile, Fujiko and Rantaro are finding something in common. The Misfits Alliance dissolves. Okay, well that makes sense. I mean, Rantaro's logically the next person out, so... And then Aoi rests at camp to restore her energy. Rantaro, all on his lonesome, still targeting Nagito the old-fashioned way. Kyoko's targeting Aoi. Yeah, we know. Hajime's targeting Rantaro. Not good for Rantaro. Hope Alliance are targeting Nagito. Spare Alliance are targeting Kyoko. The Future Alliance, though, they're targeting Rantaro. And they're considering splitting between Rantaro and Kyoko. Well, Makoto will never go for that. So once again, this will probably end up screwing over Rantaro. Just like last time, it kind of screwed over Toko. So it's funny that Makoto's the key to all of this, once again. Does anybody use their immunity? Oh boy. Okay. Makoto stands up and he's like, I found this on the first day and I'm using it to save you, Kyoko. And she's like, what? But no one's going to vote for me, Makoto. Why did you do this? This grand gesture, you idiot. Anyway, we'll see. Maybe I'm wrong. Let's read the votes. First vote, Kyoko. Second vote, Kyoko. Never mind. Everybody wanted to kill Kyoko, apparently. Third vote, Kyoko. Fourth vote, Kyoko. Makoto really did save her again. I can't believe this. Fifth vote, Nagito. Sixth vote, Rantaro. Nagito. There's no way. Nagito is voted out of the game. Why did nobody vote for Rantaro? What happened to the Future Alliance? Oh boy, that's bad. This is really bad for the future. Like, if the Future Alliance stays together after this, I'll be so surprised. Because not only do most of the members in that alliance love Nagito, but they specifically hate Kyoko, and Makoto went out of his way to save her now and cast Nagito into the pits of hell. This is going to cause a lot of division. So Aoi was the only person to vote for Rantaro. Really? You were just in an alliance with him. Aoi, why? Chiaki, okay, so the Despairers... Okay, no, this was in the Despair Alliance. Voted for Kyoko. Fuyuko was supposed to vote for Rantaro, but disagreed and voted Kyoko. Hajime voted for Kyoko alongside the Despair Alliance. So, okay. Chiaki and Hajime outweighed the Future Alliance to vote with their own team, and probably convinced Fuyuko to as well. Kyoko voted for Nagito, and Makoto voted for Nagito. So they really did, like, they did the same thing. They were like, our alliance is more important to me than the big alliance that is, like, actually giving us any power in the game. So we're going to vote for Nagito. And Makoto's like, I've got a way to make this work. And then Nagito voted for Kyoko, and Rantaro also voted for Nagito. This is extremely weird now because of the way things have kind of shaken out here. Like, do Hajime and Chiaki include Fuyuhiko in their own alliance now? Are Kyoko and Makoto, like, on their own? I really got to see if the Future Alliance breaks after this, because I have no way how it could possibly stay together. Hope Alliance 1 is staying strong. Despair Alliance is staying strong. The Future Alliance still together, although it's basically been reduced to a formality at this point, right? Like, everybody in this group knows that Hajime, Fuyuhiko, and Chiaki did not vote along the lines of the Alliance. And Makoto didn't either. So really the only person who did was Aoi. They all meet up in their alliance meeting and they're all like side-eyeing each other. Aoi's just like, I'm happy to be here. Yeah, mutual strong bonds. I mean, Makoto, if you have a mutual unbreakable relationship with Aoi, invite her into your alliance. Make it a real hope versus despair game. That would be thematic, right? Oh yeah, that's why. Because Kyoko and Aoi hate each other. Never mind, I forgot. That's why you're not doing it. Rantaro and Hajime have a strong dislike for each other. Rantaro and Chiaki have a mutual medium bond. Rantaro and Fuyuhiko have a mutual medium bond. Uh-oh. That's bad for the Hope players. Because it surely seems like Rantaro is much closer to the Despairs than he is the Hopes. Oh my... well, maybe Kyoko's done something smart here. Okay. So, the castaways will be conducting this challenge with their loved one. What happens if their loved one's another competitor? Each person has a bag with black and white marbles. Their loved ones must draw the same colored marble to remain in the challenge. So it's just random. Cool. Kyoko wins and decides to share with Makoto, Rantaro, and Hajime. Rantaro I understand, because logically, you want to sway Rantaro to your side, right? But why Hajime? I guess we'll see if this actually changes anything. Another disc challenge, and this time Chiaki wins it. That makes sense. I know discs. I'm an expert at discs. Okay. Fuyuhiko and Nagito bond strongly. Has a lasting impact. Oh boy. Aoi's impressing the team, but she's still on the chopping block, to be honest. Rantaro's targeting Hajime. They despise each other. Kyoko's targeting Fuyuhiko. She doesn't like him. Aoi's targeting Kyoko. Despises her. Hajime's targeting Rantaro. Despises him. So, Kyoko, your barbecue... Actually, did it work? Like, maybe on the surface, it's the idea of, like, you know, we could form a stronger alliance together, but the idea was just to forge a fight between Hajime and Rantaro so that they target each other and take the heat off of Makoto and Kyoko. Kind of works. So, the Hope Alliance is targeting Rantaro. The Spare Alliance also targeting Rantaro. And the Future Alliance are also targeting Rantaro. But part of them is saying, maybe we should vote for Kyoko. You can probably guess which part of it is. They're like, you know, if we split with Kyoko, maybe we have a chance of actually getting her out and breaking this, like, slight thorn in our side that is Makoto being on our team, but also never actually being on our team. All right, let's find out what happens. Chiaki has an immunity necklace. And she has an immunity idol. She's very safe. No one plays any idols. Alright. First vote. Kyoko. Second vote. Rantaro. Third vote. Kyoko. Fourth vote. Rantaro. Fifth vote. Kyoko. Sixth vote. Rantaro. Oh god! Kyoko, please! The final vote. And the next person voted out of this twisted game is Rantaro. Whew. That was a close one for the Hopes. But I guess they did split the vote like the Future Alliance said they were going to. Aoi voted for Rantaro. Chiaki voted for Kyoko. She was supposed to vote for Rantaro, but disagreed. Uh-oh. Fuyuhiko was supposed to vote for Rantaro, but disagreed. Hajime, okay, voted for Rantaro. Kyoko voted for Rantaro. Makoto voted for Rantaro. Rantaro voted for Kyoko. Well, screw you, man. Okay, so... yeah, the Despairs did not... They were the ones that decided to flip here. Hajime, interestingly, though, did not flip to Kyoko. So maybe the barbecue actually worked out. Good job, Kyoko. Barbecue tactics actually kind of saved the day here. Although, at this point, I mean, it is a hope versus despair game, so that's nice. But at this point, the despairs are in a much better position than the hopes, right? Because they've basically got Aoi on their side. So, I don't know. Would they vote for Makoto if Kyoko won immunity? I don't know. I think Kyoko has to win immunity here. So both of the main alliances are staying strong, and the future alliance is also still here. Makoto and Aoi, like, I know Kyoko and Aoi hate each other, but they might have to put their differences aside if they're going to actually continue to remain in this game. Everything else is normal. Did Chiaki and Aoi always have a mutual strong bond? Maybe they did. Yeah, okay. Wait, that was new. Hold on. The last one. Makoto and Hajime have a small bond. Oh, maybe they're starting to sway him. Maybe they are. Okay. Reward challenge. It is Chiaki and Hajime versus Aoi and Makoto versus Fuyuhiko and Kyoko. Almost like a good mix of teams here, and then you accidentally put Kyoko and Fuyuhiko together who hate each other, so I expect them not to win. And yes, Aoi and Makoto win, and they decide to share the award with Hajime. I feel like this is the new strategy. Is Makoto and Kyoko trying to sway Hajime. Because I guess if they sway Hajime, like, Chiaki doesn't hate either of them. So they could get Chiaki as well, and suddenly they could be the biggest voting block. That makes sense. So the immunity challenge, actually, Aoi wins it. And it's about climbing ladders and doing puzzles, so interesting. Fuyuko's impressing people again. He's good at that. Fiko and Kyoko find something in common, and he bonds with Makoto slightly. I keep seeing Naegi and saying Nagito. It's not good. Aoi's targeting Kyoko. Makoto's targeting Chiaki. Makoto, that's a bad idea. That's a bad way to try to get freaking Hajime on your side. Anyway, this alliance is so loyal all of a sudden. As soon as Toko left, the relationship issues were solved. Alright. They're targeting Chiaki. The Despair Alliance are targeting Kyoko. So they're fighting each other. They're brawling. They're punching. But the Future Alliance is also targeting Kyoko. That's not good for her. I mean, there's no way Chiaki goes out here, right? They would have to flip onto Aoi somehow. But I don't think they're going to do it. Oh yeah, Aoi has immunity. They can't flip onto Aoi. Yeah, that's rough. They have to somehow convince Hajime to vote for Chiaki, which, like, that's just never going to happen. So, it's looking bad for Kyoko here. First vote, Kyoko. Second vote, Kyoko. Third vote, Kyoko. Fourth vote, Chiaki. Fifth vote, Chiaki. Oh, Kyoko, it was a good fight, but unfortunately, just couldn't last. Makoto at least didn't vote for her in the end, though. Ah, man. His big, like, grand gesture with the hidden immunity idol and everything. It's sad. It's sad she's gone. Alright, well. I mean, the Future Alliance, everybody who's left is in it. So, I don't know how it could possibly, like, determine anything anymore. Like, is the Alliance gonna meet and say, like, okay, let's vote out Aoi? And she's like, huh? The Despair Alliance still holding strong. The Future Alliance, it's honestly only grown in loyalty. Probably because it's basically a Chiaki Fujiko Hajime alliance. And Aoi is also there, and Makoto's just like on the sidelines knowing the target's on his back next. Fujiko and Chiaki have an unbreakable bond. Yeah, this is all normal. Makoto and Fujiko have an unbreakable bond, though. So, honestly, Makoto has an unbreakable bond with everybody. So maybe nobody will ever vote him out. Chiaki and Aoi have an unbreakable bond now. Makoto and Hajime have a medium bond. Fujiko and Aoi have a mutual small bond. Hajime and Aoi have a slight dislike. Uh-oh. And Chiaki has a slight dislike for Makoto. Not Nagito, Makoto. Which makes sense, I guess, because he voted for her. Okay, reward challenge. Oh no, this is immunity. Might as well jump. They jump. Fujiko jumps the best. He wins comfort food in a camp and decides to share it with Chiaki and Hajime, because of course he does. Despairs forever. Alright. This is the last round Chiaki can use her hidden immunity idol. And she has a meltdown over it. But she's still impressing the rest of the team. Her meltdown is so crazy. Everybody's like, wow, she's awesome. Anyway, Makoto's also impressing everybody, which makes sense because everybody likes him. Hajime's targeting Aoi. Makoto's targeting Chiaki. He's the least connected to Chiaki overall. The Despair Alliance, max loyalty once again, targeting Aoi. And the Future Alliance must turn on themselves. Yeah, I've never seen this before, actually, that everybody who's left in the game is all part of one alliance. They have to turn on each other. The alliance and faction targets are finalized between two castaways, Chiaki and Aoi. Wow, okay, let's see. Who's more important to this alliance? Chiaki or Aoi? I think we all know the answer already, but, you know. Plus, Chiaki's going to play in a hidden immunity idol right here. There she goes. Alright, Chiaki, Aoi. Aoi's out. Quicken killer. Aoi has finally been voted out. It kind of sucks because I do get the vibe that she thought she was in the game the whole time, but like knowing what we know from an omniscient viewer's perspective, like everybody else had their own fractured alliances without her. So she was like, yeah, I'm part of the big group and everybody likes me. But it's actually like, well, they're kind of using you. Poor Aoi. Aoi actually voted for Chiaki, which is hilarious. And Makoto did as well, of course. Well, it's Chiaki, Fuyuhiko, Hajime, and Makoto left. And we're into finale part 2. The Future Alliance is still formally staying together, even though they have to vote for each other now. So, yep, everybody still loves each other. It really sucks for them, you know? Even Makoto and Chiaki have a small bond now. You shook me. They have to stack blocks and spell the 3 tribe names. Okay, without any upside down letters. It's not too hard. Hope, despair, truth. Those are all pretty easy words. And Hajime wins immunity. Fuyuhiko and Hajime find something in common, whereas Fuyuhiko and Makoto have a small fight. Well, that might be enough to just get rid of Hajime, honestly. Hajime must grant safety to one other castaway. Why? I'm not sure. Oh, because it's even. I see. So he's going to choose who else gets immunity, and the last 2 are going to do a challenge to see who makes it to the final 3. Well, okay, that's kind of nice for them, because at least they don't have to like vote for each other. That would probably hurt a lot. They compete in a fire making challenge, and Makoto beats Fuyuhiko, which means Fuyuhiko is out. Wow. It's pure hope in the finale, which again makes sense. Hajime, Chiaki, or Makoto. I almost said Nagito again. The finalists face the jurors. So if you don't know how this works, which I found out when I did this last time, is that the previous 8 people to get voted out will now each cast a vote for one of the 3 finalists to decide who wins. So Makoto's honestly played a great game. Nobody hated him. Like, literally nobody. He could get all 8 votes and I wouldn't be surprised. Well, he probably wouldn't get Kokichi's vote, to be honest, but, you know. It would not be too shocking. However, Hajime and Chiaki, as much as they, like, also had a strong bond with a good amount of these people, like Nagito, Fuyuhiko, and Aoi, the problem is they both shared that bond with each of them. Like, if you were going to vote for one of these 3 and you had a good relationship with all of them, you'd probably vote for Makoto, in my opinion, because Hajime and Chiaki are a unit. Like, how would you choose between each of them? They've been working together the entire game. You know? I don't know. Let's see what happens. The finalists wait for the winner to be revealed. They're nervous. They're wishing each other the best of luck because they all like each other. No animosity between them. Even, like, you know, Chiaki and Makoto, they had a fight about wanting to keep Kyoko in the game, but even they kind of made up at the last second there. Alright. It's time to reveal the winner. The first vote goes to Hajime Hinata. The second to Chiaki Nanami. The third to Makoto Naegi. Makoto. Chiaki. Hajime. 2 votes left. Makoto. And the final vote goes to Makoto. The winner of Survivor Hope versus Despair versus Truth is the most boring answer of all time, Makoto Daiki. But, like, what else do you expect? Of course, everybody likes Makoto. Of course he would win. Okay, so Aoi voted for Makoto. Fuyuhiko voted for Hajime. That makes sense, actually. They were bros for most of this game, right? Kokichi actually did vote for Makoto. Kyoko, of course, voted for Makoto. Maki voted for Hajime. Nagito decided to vote for Chiaki. That's real character development from him, to be honest. Didn't vote for either Maximum Hope. Instead, he voted for Chiaki for doing her best. Good on him. Rentaro also decided to vote for Chiaki. And Toko, of course, voted for Makoto. Toko wins the Fan Favorite Award. Sure she does. Makoto Naegi. I love that it ends with not like, the winner is Makoto Naegi or anything. It's just Makoto Naegi. That's it. And yeah, that's it. Makoto wins. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, like and subscribe. Let me know which franchise that I've covered on this channel, ideally, or, you know, generally. I haven't actually played every Nintendo game on this channel, for example, but I do the Nintendo Direct, so I know about all those franchises. You would want me to do next for this. I've already done Homestuck and Deltarune, so we don't need to do those again. I'm thinking Your Turn to Die might be next. I think it'd be very interesting to see those characters have to vote each other out and maybe get a sacrifice tile or something. You know, could be interesting. And of course, I have Ace Attorney as well on the mind. Crime and punishment season, you know? So, yeah, let me know. Maybe I'm forgetting something that would make for a really good one. Apparently, there are additional statistics at the end of the game that I didn't know about, which sucks because I can't go back to look at the Deltarune or Homestuck games to see this, but we can at least do this here. Chiaki's the most strategic, and then Fuyuhiko, and then Rantaro, which is interesting because I wouldn't have immediately thought that. I probably would have put Kyoko or Makoto somewhere in there, but it does kind of make sense. Kyoko got the most votes received overall, which is funny because if she didn't like have that thing where Makoto stood up for her and she got voted out at that point, Kokichi would have, which feels very fitting. Aoi won 5 challenges, tied with Fuyuhiko for most challenge wins. That's interesting. It kind of makes sense how Fuyuhiko and Aoi made it that long then, right? Because they were constantly winning challenges. And it does make sense that that would be why they're so well liked and made it that far. Fuyuhiko and Makoto never got a vote in the entire game. Even Hajime got 1 vote. Fuyuhiko and Makoto never did. So it's funny they ended up having to face off against each other for a space in the finale. And then Fuyuhiko, Hajime, and Nagito tied for most immunity wins. Reward wins don't really matter, but, you know, Aoi and Kyoko are at the top of that grouping. And then Chiaki had the most hidden immunity idols found it too. she was idol searching out of her mind. Anyway. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.